Apple is about to do something they almost never do. In a world where every phone brand is quietly hiking prices, blaming chips, blaming AI, blaming literally everything except themselves, Apple is reportedly holding the line on iPhone 18 Pro pricing. Analyst Jeff Pugh predicts Apple will use an aggressive pricing policy, meaning $1,099 for the Pro and $1,199 for the Pro Max. Same as last year. The iPhone 17 Pro costs $1,099. The iPhone 17 Pro Max costs $1,199. So, on the surface, nothing changed. But here's what's actually going on, because this is way more interesting than it sounds. And there's one part of this pricing story that nobody is leading with. Stick around because we're getting to it. The iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max will launch in September 2026. We're a few months out. Rumors are stacking up, and between the pricing news, the chip upgrades, the new design details, and honestly, a launch strategy from Apple that is genuinely kind of wild, there's a lot to unpack here. I've been tracking every credible leak and analyst note on this phone for months. And my honest read, this might be one of the more interesting iPhone years in a while. Not because the phone itself looks revolutionary, but because of the situation around it, the context, the chess moves. Let's get into all of it. Okay, so let's actually explain this pricing thing properly. Rising memory costs have led to price increases on many Android smartphones. AI demand has made memory costs soar amid supply constraints. We're talking about a global shortage of the RAM chips that every modern phone needs and needs more of now because of on-device AI. Companies like Samsung, OnePlus, and Oppo are now raising prices, so the whole Android ecosystem is quietly getting more expensive. And Apple, it seems that Apple's C-suite in Cupertino isn't planning to hike the prices on the iPhone 18 Pro series, expected to be introduced next September. Now, here's the part people are glossing over. Aggressive pricing doesn't mean this phone is getting cheaper. Apple's rumored aggressive pricing strategy does not necessarily mean the iPhone 18 Pro will become cheaper. It likely means Apple may try to keep the base iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max prices unchanged, even as memory and component costs continue to rise. So the starting price stays flat. But if you prefer or need more storage, the rumors repeatedly mention higher upgrade prices. Apple could regain some profit by increasing pricing on higher storage variants. Apple seems to want the headline price, the from amount, to remain the same so people have the perception that nothing's changed, while covering some of the increased RAM costs by making the more expensive versions even more expensive. And that's actually a very Apple move. Genius and slightly sneaky at the same time. Here's something even wilder, and this one actually affects you directly if you're planning to buy a new iPhone this year. With the iPhone 18 lineup, Apple is going to change the timing for new iPhone releases. The more expensive iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max will launch in the fall of 2026, as usual, alongside the new foldable iPhone. But the more affordable iPhone 18 and iPhone 18e models won't come out until spring 2027. Read that again. If you want a regular iPhone this fall, you can't have one. The new iPhones in September 2026 will all have price tags of $999 or more. Now, I'm not saying that's evil, but I'm also not saying it's an accident. This may make some people due for an upgrade go for a Pro model instead of waiting another 6 months for the regular model. Funny how that works. This staggered approach could allow Apple to focus more attention on its Premium Pro and foldable handsets during the holiday season, which, sure, that's one way to put it. All right, let's talk about what's actually inside this thing. The chip. Apple's next generation A20 Pro chip is expected to use TSMC's first generation 2 nanometer process, whereas the A19 Pro chip is 3 nanometers. With a 2 nanometer architecture and a new packaging design, the A20 Pro chip should deliver solid year-over-year performance and power efficiency gains. In real terms, this is the chip that makes everything faster and your battery lasts longer without you having to think about it. It's not a headline feature, it's the foundation everything else runs on. The camera, the main 48 megapixel Fusion camera on both iPhone 18 Pro models is rumored to have a variable aperture, which would allow users to control the amount of light that passes through the camera's lens and reaches the sensor. This would provide greater control over depth of field variable aperture on a phone. That's a feature that's been sitting on professional cameras for decades. The idea that you could dial in your depth of field on a device that fits in your pocket is genuinely cool. Given that iPhones have smaller image sensors due to smartphone size constraints, it is unclear exactly how meaningful this improvement would be. So I'll reserve full excitement until I actually test it. But on paper, interesting. The modem. Apple C2 could feature M-Wave 5G connectivity. Apple C2 modem could add support for 5G satellite connectivity, allowing Apple to use new radio non-terrestrial networks. The addition would perhaps allow the iPhone 18 Pro models to offer full internet access over satellite, supplementing 5G networks for increased coverage when standard networks are unavailable. Actual satellite internet on a phone, not just SOS texting, actual browsing, which, okay, now I'm paying attention. The display, the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max are expected to feature new LTPO plus display technology in 2026, which should allow higher refresh rates while using battery power more efficiently. The screens are rumored to stay roughly the same size as the iPhone 17 series, around 6.27 inches for the Pro and 6.86 inches for the Pro Max. The dynamic island. Remember when there was a rumor that Apple was going full punch hole camera with Face ID under the display? It was initially reported that the iPhone 18 Pro models would have fully underscreen Face ID with only a front camera visible in the top left corner. However, the latest rumors indicate that only one Face ID component will be moved under the screen, which will result in merely a smaller dynamic island. Smaller pill, not gone, just thinner. Honestly, fine. I've made my peace with the dynamic island, design and colors. Multiple rumors have suggested Apple is testing a deep red finish for the iPhone 18 Pro models, and the color is expected to be the special color Apple chooses in 2026. The red shade may be more of a dark cherry color with a tinge of purple in it rather than a darker red shade. Apple could sell the dark cherry color alongside light blue, dark gray, and silver iPhone models. Dark cherry with a tinge of purple. I have no idea what that looks like, but I want it. I've already decided I want it. Weight, a tiny concern. The iPhone 18 Pro Max could be slightly thicker than the iPhone 17 Pro Max, measuring in at 8.8 millimeters, up from 8.75 millimeters. Such a small difference won't be noticeable to most users, but it is expected to increase the weight of the device, pushing it over 240 grams. The iPhone 17 Pro Max weighs 233 grams, 7 grams heavier. That's the weight of a single AA battery. You'll survive. There's something we need to address because it's going to be part of the conversation all fall. We'll get Apple's 3 most expensive iPhones in the fall: iPhone 18 Pro, the iPhone 18 Pro Max, and the iPhone Fold, which could be upwards of $2,000. Apple's high-end iPhone Fold will get most of the attention in 2026, but there are some useful upgrades planned for the iPhone 18 Pro models. So if you're wondering whether the iPhone 18 Pro is going to feel like the boring option at the September event, the answer is probably yes, a little. But here's the thing. The Fold is going to be a first-generation product at double the price. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is a mature, refined device at $1,199. For most people, that's actually the smarter play. So, is the iPhone 18 Pro Max worth it? Here's my honest take. If you're on an iPhone 15 or older, this is a legitimate upgrade. The chips are expected to feature performance and efficiency improvements, leading to increased battery life without compromising on speed. The camera with variable aperture is genuinely interesting. The satellite connectivity is a real world feature, not a gimmick. And the pricing, while not actually cheaper, is at least not getting worse for the base model. Such a move might help the iPhone gain market share from Android, something that's already happened in the early months of the year. If you're on an iPhone 16 or 17 Pro, honestly, wait, there's not enough here to justify the upgrade cycle unless Dark Cherry is calling to you on a spiritual level, in which case, no judgment, I get it. And if you're eyeing the Fold, I'm doing a full video on that because the price rumor alone is worth its own conversation. One question for you though, are you upgrading to the 18 Pro Max this fall or are you waiting to see the Fold first? Drop it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious where people land on this. Catch you next one. Peace.